Hi, I'm Jenny Fratzke, and welcome back to God is a Good Father series. Today we'll focus on Ephesians 5:1. Be ye therefore followers of God as dear children. My husband sells organic wheat to customers, and one time a man and wife came with their 3-year-old little boy to our ranch to pick up some wheat, and we had this hay wagon just sitting by the grain bins, and their 3-year-old had a plastic Volkswagen food truck van complete with sliding door, awnings, and just colorful little baskets hanging, and there was a grasshopper on the ground. This little toddler opened the sliding doors of his plastic van, swooped up the grasshopper, put it inside like a good neighbor would, where it was warm, closed the door, and then reached up to get a lift from his mother because he wanted to stand on our hay wagon. The 3-year-old boy was so cute. He was screaming and he was giggling for joy because he gave the grasshopper a ride and started zooming the plastic Volkswagen food truck across our hay wagon. And then he decided that the grasshopper needed to get a ride back to the ground. I think it's difficult in the Christian lifestyle to not compare yourself with other Christians who might have the gift of hospitality or teaching or helps or prayer. But thank the Lord for the gift that He's given you. And this little toddler taught me that giving a ride to a neighbor, in his case a grasshopper, demonstrated kindness and love that can be extended to those around him. Sometimes it's easier also in a church to use your spiritual gifts because they pass around a clipboard and you sign up to do one small thing or something specific. Sometimes loving neighbors around you is more difficult because you're busy cooking dinner or in your everyday life, and it's not quite convenient because it's just spur of the moment and you have to drop everything, like this little toddler did for this grasshopper, and gave the grasshopper a ride and a lift down to the ground once again from the hay wagon. Recently, I gave a friend of mine a ride to an appointment, and she needed someone to stay there for a couple hours during the procedure. So that was about a 4-hour expenditure. And I'm not saying this to pat myself on the back because I didn't even think of this as using a spiritual gift or being kind to a neighbor. I just accepted an opportunity to help another person, and she would have had to have canceled that appointment. So it was something very small. I mean, it wasn't like inviting 30 people into my home for a Bible study or maybe teaching a class, but it was something, one small thing that I could do for a neighbor and demonstrate love. And Ephesians 5:1 with showing God's love toward others. I know that God is a good father because sometimes He whispers in His children's ears, do this, go here, help out there. And often I have needed help, and my good Father will send someone, even when I don't ask. Honestly, Ephesians 5:1, be followers of God as dear children, never made it to my top 10 list of verses because it reminded me of becoming a super Christian. Do more, give more, do kind acts, service toward others. But I never considered little tiny things like neighbors who love each other and are kind toward each other might do. Now, where I live, it's rural, and often people from the city move here, and the last thing they want to really do is visit with another neighbor. In fact, they love having a few acres between houses just for the quiet. So it can be even more difficult to get to know your neighbors. But sometimes God puts us in those situations where at the exact moment that we show up, we find out that someone else might have a need, or we might have one, and God will meet that need through a fellow neighbor.